Good morning, my friends. Today we're going to do a training session with 7 exercises to help us get stronger, better cardio, all the things we're looking for, but also protect the spine while we train. It's not much fun when we break down, so let's do it in a way that we don't. First, we'll just start with spinal care squats. It feels great. So bring the arms up overhead, and then just hips back, sit down, come up on the toes if you can do that. Flatten the feet, follow the same path all the way up and down. And as you're doing this, notice it's just a very comfortable move. You can always, of course, focus on glute activation. So in terms of spinal stabilization, that many of us over the years, we've done a lot of really fun sports, and it's been really terrific experience. But at some point, most people break down, and lower back injuries are so common. So here we're going to do a training session, building up our overall body strength, take care of our spine with every move in a way that we can be aligned with all of our joints and recover. Great. Okay, so that would be, I would call it the spinal care warm-up. Next, we're going to need glute activation. And today we're going to just do a very simple hip extension. In the future, we'll do more complex patterns. To come to the floor, step back left leg, knee down, both knees down, hands on thighs, hips back, walk the hands forward, notice no loading into the low back. Okay, make sure you don't let your back arch or extend or flex. Shoulders down from the ears, straighten the arms, push the hands into the floor and spread the upper back so you've got tension across the upper back. Engage the glutes firmly, right leg, lift. The leg should be just in line with the body, not higher. And draw small squares, clockwise direction. Small squares, counterclockwise. Leg down. And get it. Left leg back, engage glutes, left leg lift. Flex the foot, counterclockwise squares. And clockwise squares. Leg down. Alternate sides. Do not allow your lower back to soften. Do not allow the arms just to bend. Keep the core engaged. Rest, no sagging of the low back, left side, engage glutes, left leg. Keep the arms really stiff. External rotation, counterclockwise circle, clockwise circle. Rest. Right leg engage glutes, leg back. Now this time squares. Clockwise first. Counterclockwise square. Notice how core and glutes are engaging correctly. Left leg back. The purpose of this particular exercise is to help the multifidi, the small stabilizers of the vertebrae, to hold the spine in place so that when we load it on the sporting fields, in the tennis courts, that our spine will maintain its integrity. Release, shift back toward the heels, walk the hands back, slide the hands up the thighs, hip hinge, glute activation, right leg forward, up we go. Great. Next for core stabilization, this is one of my favorites. It's a ball, we're going to draw squares at the wall. You can use either, this is a really good medicine ball, it's fun, 6 pounds, or this is just a Pilates type ball. You can use this if you want to, or something smaller, like a tennis ball or some other type of ball structure. If you don't have anything, just use your hands. The position is the right arm to the side, both feet are on the floor, feet are slightly wider than hips. Engage the glutes really firmly. The arm is to the side, slightly keep the chest is facing forward, and then draw squares. Clockwise direction first, and now counterclockwise direction. Rest. Clockwise. Keep the glutes going. Counterclockwise. Okay, so what we're working on here is obviously the shoulder stabilization, but also the core. Notice how the glutes and the core are engaging. So with that stability, whether you're kickboxing or swimming, hiking, other direction square, keep the toes pressing down. You'll have good support through your spine to help protect you. Switch sides. Left arm, just to the side. Okay. Make sure all the toes are pressing into the floor before you begin. First, glutes, toes, solid position of the pelvis, and then external rotation. So we're going counterclockwise squares. Clockwise squares. Look straight ahead. Don't look towards your arm. Notice how the obliques are engaging. You should feel glutes and abs. Keep the body weight even on both feet. Avoid leaning to the side. Change direction, squares. Keep pressing into the wall. Keep the chest open. Don't collapse your pecs. That's it. Good. Breathe. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. That's the way. And rest. So next component for fun, lateral chain. So we've done glute activation, core stabilization, lateral chain, the sides of the body for fun today. We'll just do side shuffles with arm swings. And depending on your room, you just take whatever steps you work. On the toes if you can. If you want, you can just walk. I like to switch the arms every time. So every time you swing the arms through, the other arm is forward. Make sure the feet are side beside each other. Don't cross over with this one. No crossover, no twisting. We want spine to stay at rest. Spine should stay in alignment. We don't want to do torquing. You'll do enough torquing when you're throwing the ball. Okay, ready? Side again. On the toes. Do it as forcefully as you like. But make sure you don't allow yourself to torque the spine. Notice the core strength again. And recover. So here you should be fundamentally feeling obliques and gluteus medius piriformis, the external rotators of the hips, one more time. And of course the feet and the ankles. Naturally, by practicing this with good form, when you're on the soccer field, you'll be less likely to roll your ankle. And recover. Good. All right, next component, that was lateral chain. Posterior, which means back of body. Oblique, which means side. So there's the rotational force. Today I'd like to do a reverse lunge with a band. So if you don't have a band or a TRX, you can hold on to a chair. But I would like you to hold on so you get the concept of the arm and leg working in congruency. So here I have, this is actually a karate belt that's up on a chin-up bar. And whatever you're using, make sure that it's really safe. You don't want a band to break while you're doing your exercise. So this is what it looks like. You start with the arm by the side. We're going to do a hold for stabilization. Step back, arm will straighten, go into your lunge, hold. Engage the glutes of the front leg, up you go. Step back, hold. Okay, everyone ready? We're going to start, right arm is holding. If you want to, you just hold onto a chair, as I said. Left leg is the working leg. Elbow is by the side. Step back, right leg, arm will straighten. Square forward, hips are squared. That's it, good. Don't let yourself over rotate. Good, pull, up we go. Every time initiate with glute activation. Hold 5 seconds at the bottom. Every rep hold. The depth of your lunge, you don't have to go all the way down. Rest, other side. Arm by the side. I would do 7 reps. Count 7. Engage glutes up. Again, you can use either a stretchy band. This one is just a karate belt. So it's very stiff. It's similar to using a TRX or suspension trainer. Glutes and lift. Be sure the toes are pressing on the floor. Stay upright, not leaning forward. The front leg, knee over ankle. Be careful of the front knee shifting forward. Make sure the knee also doesn't shift medially, laterally. Be conscientious of the front leg. Rest. Great. To protect the wrist when you're doing the reverse lunges with the band, there are a few different types of bands. First of all, if you have handles, you would just hold on to the handles. Make sure they're even on both sides. You don't want your wrist to be torquing or twisting. And if you have a band that's a loop like this, you'd like it to be taut, so you would double it and put both of the handles in one hand. And again, it's a full palm grip. If you have only a TheraBand, so it's just one long, thin band, if you hold like this, it'll cause a tilt of the wrist, so it'll destabilize the wrist and shoulder. So rather, you take a full grip with your palm, wrap the hand in it with a strong fist, so that your fist is set as if you could punch something and it would be solid. So next component will be chops and lifts to work the diagonal vectors front and back. Here we're going to start with a lift. I'm using a kettlebell. And just like, this is a circuit, so you can go through the circuit 3 or 4 times if you'd like to. If you have a kettlebell, the grip should be low you don't want your elbows to flare, so the elbows can be tucked. If you have a dumbbell or a water bottle or something like that, the hands should be interlaced so the shoulders are level. You don't want to have one shoulder higher than the other. Okay, the stance. To get better glute development, heels together, toes out, spread your toes, bend the knees, push the knees out slightly. Squeeze your butt. Good, and then lift. We'll go 10. Keep the glutes engaged the entire time. Rest, weight down. Good, then other side. Glutes engaged. And rest. Good. Last exercise will be a chop, which you pull down. This was our pulling up diagonally, now we're pulling down diagonal. The grip, upper hand is underhand, lower hand is overhand. So here, I have a band that's attached. If you do not have a band, I suggest you can do the same maneuver by just moving the arms. So it would be one hand over to just move the arms of this action. But again, the torque angles. Now to complement the diagonal lift, we're going to do a diagonal chop. Just be careful here of the core. We don't want to do any rotation again. We stabilize the spine. And the arms should be very stiff, so no torquing through the elbows or wrists. And the movement is being driven through the scapula, through the thoracic spine. So we're working on thoracic spinal rotation with core and glute stabilization. I like to use a band. Sorry for the lighting. The band here should be very loose so that it has a lot of give. If you do not have a band, I suggest you can do the same position with the arms. You can either be standing, we'll go feet side by side, glutes engaged, knees slightly flexed. But be careful when people stand, sometimes the hips kind of sway forward, so it should be hips over heels. Preferably, if you're okay with your knees, we'll go half kneeling. So we're going to go high left, low right. So if you can kneel, we'll go right knees down. The grip, very important for the shoulders. The grip is underhand, left hand, overhand, right hand. Engage the glutes, make sure you're square forward with the chest and hips, and pull, hold, and release. Pull, hold, use the glutes. Every time at the bottom, be sure you've got good glute control before you release the move. As you're pulling, again, keep the elbows stiff. Don't allow the wrist to twist. Pull from the shoulder blade. Feel the shoulder blade pull toward the spine. Look directly in front of you. Rest. Other side. So again, if you're not using the band, you just switch the arm position. High right, low left. Right leg forward. Toes are pointing forward of both feet. Engage the glutes, square up the hips and the chest first. Right hand underhand, left hand overhand. Shoulders down from the ears, pull the shoulder blade toward the spine, hold slightly and release. As you're pulling, get the sense of the scapula, the upper back, the shoulder blade pulling the action, creating that movement from the arm. And keep the elbows straight. At the low position, especially, the elbows and wrists tend to twist. Here, when we stabilize the arms, and when you're moving around with rackets and balls, the shoulder integrity and the elbow wrist integrity will hold. Use the glutes really firmly. That's the way. And okay, that was it. And then do it 2, 3, 4 times as you like to have a good complete training session. and we'll take good care of your body. Thanks for coming. I'm Uttara. Please enjoy my classes. Send me an email if you'd like to join my classes, or if you're interested in a personal training session, let me know. Thanks so much.